We're also following this big story. Bryan Kohberger, the 28-year-old man accused of stabbing 4 University of Idaho students to death in November, could be appearing before a judge today.
The case, of course, making headlines across the country, around the world, as people look for answers about how something like this could happen. We've now learned that the suspect could be in court less than 3 hours from now. We'll, of course, be watching that. Live, though, this hour with us here on King 5 Mornings, Shakira Sanders, a professor of law at the University of Idaho. Thank you so much for waking up with us, Shakira, and taking the time to give us some insight here. First, we want to know, with a major case like this in Little Latah County, Idaho, how can you possibly have a fair trial, I suppose? And do you think that this case will remain in Latah County?
Well, it's unclear whether this case will remain in Latah County. However, there appear to be indications that the magistrate judge does have some concerns about information that could be released to the public and therefore prevent us from finding an unbiased jury for this case. We saw a gag order issued yesterday by the magistrate preventing the defendant and their counsel, as well as the government and their counsel, from discussing the case with the public.
And it makes sense, Professor Sanders, that that gag order would be put in place to make sure that we have a fair and just process in this case. Is it surprising, though, that that came down, that the law enforcement and attorneys involved in this case aren't allowed to talk to the media or the public about it?
Not necessarily so. There is some precedent for this recently in Idaho with the case dealing with Lori Vallow. That had to be moved from another small Idaho county to Ada County, which is where Boise and the city capital and its largest city is located. So it could be here that the magistrate judge wants to prevent a change in venue.
We are expecting more information, of course, about how investigators were able to track Kohberger down, what led them to his direction to this white Hyundai Elantra. In Washington State, if you see a case like this, or charges filed, you get information as soon as the charges are filed. That doesn't seem to be the case in Idaho. Can you explain that?
Well, it's a little unclear to me because, of course, prior, just a short amount of time ago, we were getting information that there actually was no information other than this white Honda Elantra. Now, all of us, we have a defendant, a suspect, one who appears to soon be a defendant. However, it won't be until the defendant's initial hearing, which has occurred 24 hours after his arrest, that we find out what is the basis for probable cause to believe that this is the individual who committed these murders and perhaps as well a burglary.
More details later this morning, likely. You're Shakira Sanders, professor of law at the University of Idaho. Thank you so much for giving us the insight this morning. You can bet we'll have you back. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
And if you want more details on the case, we've made it easy for you to get all that info. Just text the word Idaho to 206-448-4545. We will text you a link to our latest coverage.